Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the latest album from Blaze of Perdition, The Harrowing of Hearts, out February 14th on Metal Blade Records. This album has 7 tracks, 51 minutes in length, and this is the band's 5th full-length studio album. They created a very complex album while delivering it in a very simple way. The simplicity in which each track comes at you really hides, really masks how complex each single song is, and then obviously the overall record. In my opinion, this approach will really appeal to two sets of fans. Will appeal to the longtime fans of the band and fans of black metal, but will also open the doors to new fans that are perhaps more on the periphery of the genre and are not as familiar not only with the genre, but the band. The great dynamic that this album has really allows the songs to have a feeling of passing the baton one to the other. There's a continuity from track to track that really plays well in the overall fluidity of the record. The album has very independent structures. Each song has its own style, its own approach, its own dynamics, if you will. Very roller coaster of a ride within each single song. But then when you look at the overall picture of the album, it's very linear. It doesn't have that same sensation because the songs feel uniform, but when you listen to each single song, you realize that they're not. They're very dynamic in nature. To me, this is achieved by combining elements of a lot of different genres outside of black metal. You see some elements of rock, of punk, of goth, even prog. So you have some components, not a lot of components of all those genres, but definitely some components of those genres being all blended in together, put into every single track, and that is what allows the songs to have this individual dynamic, but then the overall album to be very linear in its approach. From a lyrical perspective, I really like what they did. They concentrated a lot of the lyrics on the journey that Christ takes into hell and how that journey affects him not only physically but mentally and psychologically. So I really like that part of the lyrics, but that's not the only part of the lyrics. You also have the band's own views on those topics, on that journey, and on other items that surrounds that same topic. So it's an album that lyrically has a spinal cord, but it really goes in a lot of different directions. It doesn't hold itself to that just one principle, and I really like that as well, because the same way the sound is very dynamic and very fluid, you also want the lyrics to have the same approach and not be very rigid, so that one can play off the other and vice versa, and allow the album to have a very dynamic overall feel. Now, to me, this record has the ability to really magnetize you and really captivate you. I really felt that I got into it because it was simple, and then I stayed listening to it because it was complex. That's really how I felt about this record, and I really feel like a lot of people will agree with that and will feel the same way, because the more you listen to it, the more you're going to discover about it that you didn't realize the first or second or even third time that you played it. It's an album that will allow you to rediscover it through time with every single time that you play a song, and that to me is always a sign of a great record. Now, as far as songs are concerned, I really want to start off with Suffering, Made Bliss, opening track on the album, and in my opinion, you cannot pick a better song to open up the album because it has a very powerful feel to it. But at the same time, this is a song that has a lot of elements that are going to be present throughout the whole album. Not only the structure of the song is something that you're going to see not repeat itself, but you're going to see a lot of similarities throughout the album with the structures of other tracks. And then the way the music and the lyrics combine with each other is also something that you're going to find throughout the record. So perfect opening track in my opinion. It's a track that has a roller coaster of emotions. You have these ups and these downs. You have these really heavy, brutal portions of the song, and then you also have some dark and more somber, introspective moments. That to me is what gives fluidity not only to this song, but the overall album. I really like how the vocals add darkness to it as well. The vocals really have this sense of changing and morphing in terms of how dark they need to be or how more somber they need to be on a specific portion of the song. So it has a great dynamic to it. It really allows the whole track to flow extremely well. And the more somber portions of the song allow the more robust and dynamic parts to feel even heavier. So it also has that element to it, which to me it's really great for an album like this and specifically for this kind of song. So it's a song that overall represents the album, but it's a song that at the same time really opens the doors to what the whole album is going to be, and it gives you a glimpse of what you're in for once you listen to the record. Next, What Christ Has Kept Apart, my favorite song on the album. I really like this song, both musically and lyrically. It's a song that I really connected with. It's a song that has a really thunderous drum track, killer guitar riff, and when you match those two, you really get this really wall of sound coming at you. It has a lot of texture, it has a lot of volume, and at the same time it's very melodic. It hides sometimes the melody extremely well. The vocals on this song really add darkness, and they even they are able to add darkness to the more melodic portions that the track has. So the vocals really create this yin and yang with a song, pulling all the darkness that the track has and then bringing it out, and sometimes overshadowing the overall melody that the track has. So I really like that. It's a song that, in my opinion, really represents well the lyrics. It has a way of representing the psychological demeanor of Christ in that specific point, and so that is a perfect representation of what the lyrics are telling you. So this is a song where lyrics and music really come together, with one painting the picture and the other one describing the picture for you. That is the perfect way to explain this song, and that is why I really love this track, and it's my favorite track of the album. Last is The Great Seducer. This is a song that has so many layers to it, perhaps one of the more complex tracks on the album. I really feel that strongly about this song. It just feels that every time I listen to it, I discover something else. Behind all the aggression and all the intensity that this song has, there's this really somber, dark, sometimes even a little bit atmospheric melody that it's so well hidden within the track. Sometimes a little bit more noticeable, sometimes really hidden, it almost disappears completely. So I really like that aspect, because every time I listen to this song, I'm trying to catch it and really get some emotion out of it. See where does it take me emotionally? So I really connected with this track and all the layers that it has. Great song, a song that has this post-rock portion, bridge in the middle, that makes the song feel so dark, so menacing. And in my opinion, it really resets the song. And not only resets the song, it really breaks the song into two separate tracks almost. You have everything that happened before that bridge, and then you have everything that happens after that bridge. The following part after that bridge is really important to me, because it almost felt like you, not only you as the listener, but also the song itself was emerging from a cocoon and shedding his old skin for a new skin. That is the vibe that this song has. That is the kind of feel that you get from this song. There's a sense of growth in this song, and then there's a sense of departing the old and replacing it with the new. Very important track for the album. Very well constructed, very complex. Like I said, to me, this is the most complex track on the record. Alright guys, this is it. This is Blaze of Perdition, The Harrowing of Hearts, out February 14th on Metal Blade Records. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.